Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. 88 Fitness Live every Sunday at 12. Today we're talking about alcohol, the fourth macro, and what alcohol does to your body and how it affects your fitness goals. Very, very common issue. I get this from every single client, so I know this is a big question out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so actually this concept of the fourth macronutrient is really relatively new. It's only in the past couple of years that you've heard of people referring it as a fourth macro. And that's really because the impact that alcohol has on the body is a lot different than the other three macronutrients, which are carbs, proteins, and fat. And not only the effect on the body, but nutrient absorption, metabolism, all of that, it's a lot different. And so we're going to hopefully talk through that all today and break that down for you and hopefully shed some light on how alcohol impacts a weightlifting program. All right. So why don't we start by just talking about how many calories alcohol is per gram?
It's definitely not calorie-free, yo.
Yes, it is not that calorie-free, sugar-free gum.
I'm sure we wish we had the Diet Coke alcohol version, but there isn't one. Alcohol definitely has alcohol. Alcohol definitely has calories.
Yeah, so there is 7 calories per gram of alcohol, making it actually pretty caloric dense compared to carbs and protein, which are just 4 calories
a gram. Is very small.
Sure.
If you pour a gram into a shot glass, it's probably this big. Literally.
Yeah, I mean, no one's doing that, so
no, nobody's drinking a gram. You're right.
So let's talk about the variability in, some typical drinks that people would have. So for instance, a 12-ounce beer typically has 150 to 200 calories. Wine, I would say a standard size is probably a 5-ounce glass of wine, and that can vary depending on the sweetness of the wine. So 120, 130 calories in there. And then it gets really kind of wacky when you start talking about different types of spirits, whether it's vodka, whiskey, etc. 1.5 ounce shot can be anywhere from 90 to 100 calories. So it adds up pretty darn quick.
So if you are, at least my clients in the past, you just did the math really quick and said, okay, I'm doing shots because that's the least amount of calories and the strongest drink. So you're getting the most punch for a shot of whiskey or a shot of vodka or whatever it is with the least amount of calories.
Absolutely. I mean, mixers definitely matter. So, I mean, that was just for the alcohol we're talking. Now you're talking about adding like cranberry juice, apple juice, whatever.
Sugary syrup.
Yeah. Everyone out there drinking their orange crushes. Now we just added all of those grams of sugar, which are a whole, another 4 calories per gram adding to it. So
yes, and I gotta tell y'all, I've been playing this game almost 30 years, and every client wants to know what's the least caloric drink I can drink. It's vodka and tonic, yo.
There you go.
And I didn't figure this out. My clients over the last 30 years figured out and told me it's vodka and tonic, which is vodka and water. You didn't know.
Yeah. So now let's talk about what does consuming alcohol do to the body. So first things first, let's talk about alcohol and metabolism. Your body only has limited resources. So, I mean, you just think about your liver and it's trying to break down food, it's trying to break down fats. When alcohol is presented to it, it prioritizes the alcohol because it is like a toxin. It's like, I got to get this out of here.
It's exactly a toxin, a poison. That's why it works.
So if you just think about a normal day and the fact that your liver is supposed to be prioritizing breaking down fat so you stay healthy and whatever, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, I can't do my basic function because I have to go work on this other problem that's been presented.
Yeah, I read something great. It was this morning, actually. It said your body will put every other metabolism function on hold and metabolize that alcohol first to get it out of your system. Get it metabolized and get it out because it is poison. It will put literally everything else on hold. Yeah. Your fat burning, your metabolism, your calorie burning, everything else, sorry, that's on the back burner now. We got to burn this poison out of our body first, and then we can get back to normal body functions.
Yeah, James is right. Like nutrient interference is another big thing too. So your body, especially like vitamin B in particular, or even it can disrupt your hormone balance because it's prioritizing extricating that alcohol.
Yeah.
And not only that, alcohol is a diuretic, y'all.
Yeah.
It leads to dehydration. And I mean, you know, our body is primarily water. So if you're consuming alcohol, you're going to lead to dehydration, which then slows everything else down, especially the metabolism.
Even more so. And let's back up just a little bit. I also read this morning, alcohol will slow your metabolism 12 to 36 hours. So guess what? If you're drinking every other day, guess what? Your metabolism is never up to speed. Mm-hmm. Never. Think about that for a second. And that's not every day. That's every other day. Right. You still just put your metabolism at a 0 minus negative.
Right. I mean, think about competitive athletes trying to lean out for a show. That's why number one thing coach usually tells you is like, hey, like come this day, alcohol is gone. Like, and a serious athlete probably shouldn't have been, you know, partaking heavily in alcohol to begin with, because we're about to get into it. Alcohol does impact muscle growth, y'all.
Sure. You're gonna be hard pressed to find a serious drinker that's into fitness or sports or anything really takes it serious. If you're going to play kickball with the group that plays kickball, yeah, you're gonna drink. If you take your sport serious, you're gonna be hard pressed to find somebody that's really a drinker.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we exercise, we're signaling inside of our body the mechanisms that release amino acids to our muscles. And again, these are like the building blocks. They help with muscle repair. They help with the muscle growth. And so alcohol, again, like we've been saying, it interferes with those pathways. It truly, truly inhibits the body's ability to build muscle effectively.
So it's protein synthesis.
Yeah. I mean, just let that sink in. Like think about leg day. Think about how grueling, how taxing it is. And then tell yourself, okay, I just went out and drank all week. So now I just made it really impossible to gain muscle. Like, why did you put all that work into the gym? Oh my God.
Yeah. It's counterproductive. I mean, and we're hounding alcohol, believe me, I know, and it is counterproductive, and there's nothing good about it when it comes to fitness, but believe me, we do drink.
We do.
We enjoy our alcohol every now and then. I'm a little old to get, bombed these days. I don't ever get bombed, but I'll have a few drinks and relax.
Yeah. So, I mean, moderation with your consumption is really what the key is, and just being more aware of what it's doing to your body.
Yep. I know guys that go hard and they play hard too, and it just sets them back 3 days out of the week, and then they just accept it and then go hard for the 4 and then right to 3 days off.
Yeah. Another thing for all those people out there trying to put on muscle size, I mean, consuming alcohol can lead to insulin resistance. And so that slows down your body's ability to absorb the carbohydrates that you're eating that are absorbed into the muscles. So
slows your metabolism.
Yeah.
Once again.
So that really impacts it. And then in case anyone's wondering out there, if you consume the alcohol after you work out, like a post-workout thing, I'm not sure who's doing that. I guess maybe like post-workout mimosas. But
well, I can't say I've never done it, but I don't advise it.
Well, it exacerbates all the negative impacts that we've been talking about. So if you are going to do it, definitely don't do it right after you work out. I mean, that is the time that we need the nutrients to rebuild, repair, and come back stronger. So you definitely don't want to shut down that whole muscle building process to prioritize alcohol. So just keep that in mind. Like if you take nothing away from this, that point right there.
Post-workout shouldn't be alcohol anyway, y'all. Come on now. What are we doing here? You going from the gym to the bar? Come on now.
Hey, maybe you're on a cruise or something.
You're at least going to go home and get a shower and get changed. Come on now. Get a protein shake, get your post-workout, and then go to the bar.
That's hilarious. Definitely. So, I mean, like we said, everything in moderation. You don't want to significantly, harm your muscle building ability. You don't want to hinder your fitness goals. Like, you're working out for a reason. You're trying to achieve something for a reason.
Yeah.
So you really got to balance those social enjoyments in life with your fitness priorities. I think that's key.
Yeah, and again, don't get me wrong, we like to enjoy our drinks. And over my 30 years experience, the only people I can get to really quit drinking is competitors.
Yeah.
Everybody else will have their drinks. They're not alcoholics, but they're not going to, they'll tell me straight up, I'm not cutting out my weekend wine.
All right. So let's say you're not cutting out the weekend wine. What are strategies for, dealing with the macronutrient and alcohol? Number one, tracking, right? A lot of times when you are consuming alcohol, like, you're kind of like inhibitions just woo.
Can I expand on that?
Yes.
From experience, y'all, you start having a couple drinks, the diet's going to go out the window. I've been disciplined enough not to order that pizza for 6 months. You give me 4 beers, I'm going,
I think we should order pizza tonight.
call that pizza in. Let's go. Let's go. Just see your inhibitions.
Yeah.
You're not thinking clearly. Your discipline gets a little loosened up. I mean, that's the whole point of drinking. I get it. But that's another effect. And from experience, and you'll start craving weird stuff. I don't eat hot dogs, y'all. But you give me a couple beers and I'm like, man, I want a hot dog. I don't even like hot dogs. And I start craving hot dogs if I have a few drinks.
So if you are going to drink, definitely track. You might even want to track it separately. I mean, it's definitely, you need to consider an additional macronutrient. You need to calculate out what it's going to be. In most apps, you can type it in. It will come up with a caloric value for whatever you're drinking and put however many in there. In fact, if you know you're going to go out drinking, I would do this ahead of time, because you really, tip number 2 is you need to adjust the rest of your meals for the day. Don't say, hey, coach gave me 1,800 calories and then I drank all this stuff on top, because they don't count.
Right.
It counts. So adjust those macros, track it closely, track it separately even.
Yeah, a great tip. And a bodybuilder long ago told me this one is 1 drink, 1 water. 1 drink, 1 water. Always have a water in between your drinks. Not only is it going to help cut back on your alcohol consumption, it helps metabolize that alcohol as well and get it out of your system faster.
Yeah. And then choices matter, right? So opt for those lower calorie options, light beer, dry wine, vodka tonics.
It's vodka tonic.
And then just moderation. Everything's moderation in life, like whether it's alcohol, food, fitness, like you have to find that balance in what works for you.
I said it earlier, you're going to be hard pressed to find a serious athlete across the board. I don't care what your athlete in, that's a heavy drinker. You'll be very hard pressed to find them.
I hear you. But what I do find all the time are clients that want to lose weight. They want to lose body fat, and they will have a good 3 weeks. And then next thing you know, they go out to like an outing or hanging out with friends for a couple of days. They have a couple of drinks. Next thing you know, they didn't lose weight for the next couple of weeks. And it's like starting over and over and over and over. And they can't quite figure out what it is. It's the alcohol.
It can be a very vicious cycle. And like I said earlier, if you're drinking every 48 hours, you just stunted your metabolism permanently.
Right.
Permanently. Your metabolism will never function at full speed, at full effect, at full efficiency if you're having 1 drink every other day.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, I mean, I hope this video has at least shed some awareness on alcohol and why it's called the 4th macronutrient. And just as a recap, it's the 4th macronutrient because of the very distinct effect on the body's metabolism and nutrient absorption.
Yeah, and we went pretty hard on alcohol. I've seen people make gains while they're drinking. I was in the Army, y'all. I played rugby, y'all. I've seen people get stronger, bigger, badder while heavily drinking, but they would have got there much faster without the drinks. They're still getting there. It's just taking longer, and they're scratching off a day because they're hungover, et cetera, et cetera. But I've seen it. You can have a couple drinks and still make your gains. Don't think you can't. Just realize it is counterproductive, and you're going to make those gains faster without the alcohol if you can manage.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We are here every Sunday at 12 Eastern. So please join us. Ask us any questions that you have in the chat. We absolutely love interacting with everyone. So All right, y'all. Till next week, stay tuned. Bye.